Rub-a-dub-dub, three men in your tub, my sisters. You know what I'm talking about. You're having a good old time with them, splashing up the little bubble bath. Yeah, this is the state of the modern women, and that's why I'm talking about it. You got it right away from the title. Three men in our tub, and at least three, because if you have a big enough tub, you can probably, like a jacuzzi or a swimming pool, fit a lot more. But I'm going to talk to you today about the three men in our situationships, because sisters, this call for wisdom is about cleaning up our wedding dresses, getting it ready for the groom who's coming, and the groom is coming for a pure virgin. Yeah, I'm talking about in a spiritual sense because I know you lost the virginity thing a long time ago. But in a spiritual sense, a clean, 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 as spotlessly can get spots and wrinkles out of our dress, the quicker we can grow up, bear fruits, the more we can easily get into the kingdom because we're striving to get into his kingdom and we can't take the three men in the tub, my sister. No man is going to put up with that. And the reason why we have three men in our tub is because we are afraid. So I'm going to talk to you about all the reasons why you and I might be in a situationship and we need to clean up the tub, empty the water, throw out the old trash, and wash ourselves, cleanse ourselves, baptize ourselves, and go down to the river. So today's topic is about the situationships that we are in and how we, and I say we because I'm growing in the faith as well. It doesn't matter how long you've been in the faith, there's always something to learn and there's always more to clean up. And this is a process. So I'm not speaking to you like I'm judging you. I'm speaking to you because even in my heart, I might not physically be doing things, but in my heart, the Most High knows my heart and my desires. And if I have three imaginary men in my tub, it's the same thing as actually having them there in my life. Tub meaning your life, right? So here we go into the nursery rhymes. My sisters, my name is Deborah. Welcome to Call for Wisdom. It's all about studying about marriage, polygyny, bearing fruits, getting the bride of Christ ready for that. Doesn't matter how old you are. Join in, grab the textbook called the Torah. Let's pull it out and get ready to do a real little study here with your sister Deborah. Okay? So first we're going to start with what Yeshua told the woman at the well. And that's in John chapter 4, verses 13 to 19. And I know that you recall it, so I'll just read it, right? And this is like the first description in the Bible that is very clearly a situationship. So we can define it for us. John chapter 4. So I'll start from verse 12 because the Samaritan woman is talking to Yeshua and asking some questions, okay? She says to Yeshua, You are not greater than our father Jacob, are you? Who gave us the well and drank of it himself, and his sons and his cattle? Verse 13. Jesus answered and said to her, Everyone who drinks of this water will thirst again. But whoever drinks of the water that I will give him shall never thirst. Never. Oh. But the water that I will give him will become in him a well of water springing up to eternal life. The woman said to him, Sir, give me this water so I will not be thirsty, nor come all the way here to draw. And he said to her, Go call your husband and come here. I'll stop there. Because traditionally, in those times, and even now, a man has to be careful who he's talking to because he doesn't want to accidentally talk to another man's wife. Because the definition of adultery is when you are lusting after another man's wife. And although Yeshua was just talking to her, he wanted to know her status. Well, he asked her about her status. He said, Go call your husband. Tell him to come here. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. And Jesus said to her, You have correctly said, I have no husband. Like he didn't lie to me. For you have had 5 husbands, and the one whom you now have is not your husband. This you have said truly. And the woman said to him, Sir, I perceive that you are a prophet, confirming that he is correct. She had 5 husbands. We're not going to assume that the husbands are dead. They could have been also divorced, but she had 5 husbands. Therefore, she was married to them. But the one that currently is with her was not her husband. Thus, the situationship that Yeshua just addressed to her. She right now was with a man. We're going to say that she was sleeping with the man because it would not mean anything to bring up in this discussion if she wasn't actually having sex with the man. So she had a man, but that man was not her husband. He didn't claim her as his own like the other five, right? Who did, and she was no longer husband's, obviously either divorced or widowed, doesn't matter, didn't go into details, but the five before didn't count. The one now was a vague, not your husband. And a lot of you sisters right now, we can consider this the situation, the rub a dub dub. We actually got three men in our tub. Yeah, maybe more. But the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker. Let me talk about that, and then we're going to go to Hosea and find a solution, okay? But not really a solution because I told you before, my sisters, this is a time for us to mourn. This is not really a quick fix, but let's keep on bringing it up because as we reveal it and expose it, that's how we can clean the dresses. Until we identify the big, big spots on it, we can't clean up our mess. Our mess meaning our personal mess in our hearts that we don't want nobody to know about. And this lady didn't want anybody to know about it, but Yeshua, he spoke it out. And when he spoke it out later on in the chapter, you realize that she got saved. She brought the whole community and said, come see the man who told me all that I've done. And they started following Yeshua. And so just us exposing the sins in our lives and confessing them and being revealed is the process of healing. Because until we have the boldness to say, this is me, this is my situation, I'm going to speak it because I'm ashamed of it and I'm going to wash it and get cleans of it. This is what we're talking about. And that's why you're back here with Sister Deborah. And let's go for it, okay? So, what I mean by the butcher is a man who provides the meat, my sisters. The one who gives you the money, especially you all in the little poor economical status. You know, you're working, you're getting minimum wage, you're barely surviving paying for your children. You have maybe you're a little bit older, you're a single mom, and the father of your children is not really providing. So you're kind of stranded, and you gotta got the butcher to provide the meat, the finances, right? So you got a guy on the side, maybe two, who's giving you the money to pay the rent, who's giving you the money for the top up and for your essential needs. And I hear you because you justify that saying, how am I going to survive, Sister Deborah, if I don't have men like that in my life? I can't do without them. I don't have a father. My relatives are not taking care of me. So there's a man who I occasionally allow to, you know, be in my tub, sleep with him a little bit. You know, you got to pay him somehow. And in exchange, we got this arrangement that he pays my bill. Okay, and that's in the world that's acceptable. But we are daughters of Zion, daughters of Zion. The and there's another one that's there who can also be classified as the butcher, and that is the government. Some of us are married to the government too. And I tell you, that government is a real big butcher in your life, providing the welfare, providing the backup. When you are in trouble, you head yourself over to that office and you knock on the door for the check. You beg, you do what you need to do because you need the butcher called the government to help provide for you. I'm not saying this to condemn you because the food stamps help feed your children. The welfare checks help feed your children, helps you get by. Maybe you're even unemployed, right? Some of you are even working well, but the butcher I'm talking about right now is the reliance that you have on your retirement fund because you think the government's going to be there for you when you get older and you've been feeding into it. You've been feeding him. Mm-hmm. That butcher's getting nice and fat. And you think that, by the time you get to be 60, 75, he'll take care of you, you think. So you think you don't need a husband. All these people in your tub, all these men in your tub, let me just tell you it straight. We treat them like substitute husbands. And the reasons why we do that is out of fear. I'll get into that later. But we have substituted a real husband for the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker. All three of them for one shepherd. Mm-hmm. Should I repeat that again? The butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker are our substitutes for a godly, holy, Yah-fearing hubby. And because you have these men in your tub, you have no room for a husband. And that's why when I come talking to you about get shelter, find shelter, get a cover, that just goes over your head because you're so used to these men in your tub that you're like, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. But I'm talking to you like Yeshua said, speak it out. You got it. Confess, my sisters, that this is not right. This situationship is not what the Most High had intended for our lives as Yah-fearing daughters of Zion. We got to get rid of the butchers, the ones who provide financially for us in place of our husbands. I'm not talking about dads, because remember, family, dads can cover you. But the other men that you are relying on, and it could even be, dare I say, your boss man that you're working for as a substitute husband. This is in the heart. Because if you know you're working and your boss man now is filling the place of reliance like a husband should, he is also called a butcher in my little definition. Okay? How about the baker? Well, in my definition of all this little nursery rhyme, the baker is the one that is the emotional tampon. The guy that you call when you had a bad day. The men that are hoovering around your friend zone that you love. And what does he do? Well, he bakes us up. They make us look good. Because when I put on my little outfits and I post the pictures on Facebook, on Instagram, and TikTok, I get response from the baker. He goes, "Oh, girl, you're looking hot." He types things back. And although I'm not interested in him whatsoever, like this is not a man that you're interested in, but he feeds you in an emotional way by listening to you go la 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 all times of night. You can call him up. He's your maybe even a man that's not straight. I don't know how much I can say. A man that's more feminine, and he listens to your needs, and he can talk womenese, and he can verify that you're looking pretty today, and he can give you all the text messages back. He has all the time in the world for you. You like these guys in the friend zone, and I'm going to tell you to you straight. Every one of the bakers in your tub right now are hoping for you the one day that you let it go and they'll have sex with you too, just like the butcher. You might say to me, Sister Deborah, "Oh no, they're just platonic." They are taking the space of your hubby in the tub. That's what I'm telling you. There's no room. You got the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker. There is no room for a husband. That's why you're not looking for a husband, because you got these men giving you all the emotional support that you need. It could even be the baker. It could even be the pastor. Yeah. The one that you go to church on Sunday and you spill your emotional needs and your spiritual needs to him, and he prays for you and he gives you a holy hug, and he comforts you in a certain way. I'm not saying brothers are bad, because I have beautiful, holy brothers in my life, but I'm just saying, when you know in your heart, and only Yah can judge your heart, that these men are taking the place of hubby. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? If these men are in your friend zone, my sisters, in your friend zone, and you know full well that you are manipulating them for your own benefit, and if one day you ever get a husband, they have to leave. Therefore, you're using them for your own benefit at this time. And I raise my hand. I have been guilty of that in the past. I try to avoid it. I do, because it's easy to accept the baker. Because the bakers, you actually don't sleep with the bakers. You sleep with the butcher. The butcher actually wants good money for his meat. But you would not sleep with the baker, okay? But you let them hoover around and make you look good. That's the reason why you dressed up. That's the reason why you took all these selfies. That's the reason why you put the sexy dress on and you went to the party, is to get the attention of the baker. Okay? Not necessarily to sleep with him either. Just to get the validation that you're beautiful. Beautiful. Let him lust after you. Makes you feel good. Okay. How about the candlestick maker? Well, that one there's making me feel hot. Yeah, that one there, you got it bad for that one there, girl. That one there that's the Chad. That's the one who lights your fire. That's the one that if you could dump the other two, you would keep him. But the reason why I'm mentioning the candlestick maker in the tub is that he's in the tub and he's not your husband and he has no intention to be your husband. He knows he's lighting your fire. He's a candlestick maker. He knows he's hot. He knows he has you in his little fingers. But he has no intention of claiming you as his own, my sister. And that's the hard reality of it. That's what Yeshua said. The man you have right now is not your husband. And the reason why he said it is because the man doesn't want to be your husband. I know it hurts because it's hurt me. I understand, my sister. You talked to him. You asked him, do you mind? Like, I would love to get married. And he said blatantly no. He doesn't want to get married. It's not his time. He's giving you all kinds of roundabout about, he's not ready yet and he's financially not ready yet. Or maybe he's married and he's like, monogamy only. And so I can't marry you and I can't declare you publicly. But he has your fire burning. So what do you do? What do you do, my sister? This man is the one. Hot, 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 hot. But he is in the tub with the butcher and the baker. 3 of them. What are you going to do with these men? Because in the situationship, there is no glory. In the situationship, there is no hope of getting a real husband. Now, I know you would like me to say, well, hold on to the candlestick maker. The one that gets you going on a Friday night, Thursday night, maybe on a Wednesday night too. I get you. I get you. You probably would sacrifice the rest for that one. But that one, I'm telling you, he doesn't want you, okay? That's his business. He makes candles. He gets actually other women the same way going. They're all hot for him. He's the number one guy that everybody hooks up with, right? But he commits to nobody, and he is just a player. There is such a thing as a player. The ones who go to the field, find a beautiful sheep, but have no intention to take that sheep home and shepherd that sheep. The one who loves the pet, and he pets so well because he has so much practice petting, but he has no practice being a shepherd. He has no idea how to tend for these sheep. He only knows how to give them a little bit of temporary pleasure, but he has no responsibility for them, and he doesn't want to declare you as his own. And that is the issue that I have with the candlestick maker, because I love them too, but he will not claim you as his own. He will not say you are his woman. He will not say that in public for you to say, well, I have a shepherd, I have a man. You can't say that because he refused for you to use his name as a cover. You cannot say that you belong to him. You can't say, let's say his name is Jack. You can't say that Jack, and this is my beanstalk. You're not allowed to use his name. You have to shh about it all the time, because he will not cover you and he will not claim you as his sheep. Now, what happens when the candlestick maker does that to you is that right now you are in this big situationship because you don't really want to get rid of him. You need him for the pleasure and genuine desire that you have for him. You got the emotions, you got the chemistry. I get you. You also need the baker for the finances. If you lose the finances, you feel like you're going to be homeless on the street. How did my kids get by? The father of my children have abandoned me. What am I going to do if I stop having sex with the baker? And what am I going to do if I stop going for the checks? I'm not telling you to quit your welfare checks. I'm just saying your dependency of it is keeping you from getting a husband. And what am I going to do about my mental health? Because I need all the friends that are bakers in my boat. I need them all because I cannot handle the stress of my life without them. My girlfriends are one thing. You think you actually, most of these women don't have good. Most of the women who have 3 men in their tub don't actually have good girlfriends. And I suggest that you build a sisterhood. I'm big on the sisterhood. You sisters, I love you all. I have some personal, really good sisters in my heart. And I think that they are the best companions for us, Yahweh women, is to get back to the sisterhood. They speak my language, they understand because they are sisters, empathize with me differently, and they don't want any sex from me. A lot safer to deal with the sisters than to deal with the baker and the butcher. A lot better to deal with your dad and your relatives than the baker and the butcher. As for the candlestick maker, you need a husband, my sister. So now we got all this going on, rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men in our tub. And we're asking the Most High for a husband. And he's like, you ain't got no room. There's no room in that. You got to get rid of all of them. Even the Candlestick Maker. I know, that's the one that hurts the most. Even him, my sisters, you got to get rid of him too. You got to get rid of all of them. And you know, the fear is also to be blamed because of monogamy only. And you hear me say it all the time. Because the, 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 the world has told you that you're not allowed to look for any married men. And sometimes it is the married man that is able to replace all of this in your life because he's actually a good shepherd. He actually is the one who is your candlestick maker. He actually has the finances to take care of you in a good way and to help build you up, but you can also contribute to his kingdom, you know? And he's also, because he has other sheep and he also has other women, he knows how to handle some of your emotional needs and fill your spiritual needs. If they're Yah-fearing shepherds who have been married, they can do that. But monogamy only has told you you can't look at the married man. So it has limited you to the desperation of having 3 ungodly men in your tub instead of 1 married man. And the world will say, yeah, girl, that is better than going for a married man. You see, calling good evil, evil good. And if you guys have never been on my channel and you think I'm really crazy, I get you. I'm talking about polygyny, 1 man with many wives, predicted and prophesied in Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1, that we modern women will be going back to polygyny, and that practice is a holy, righteous practice. And please take your time to go back into our playlist, my playlist about polygyny and biblical marriage, and you will find a lot of great studies done by brothers, Brother Mike Allen, Brother Pete Rambo, a lot of brothers going digging into the word, scriptures after scriptures after scriptures, confirming the righteousness and the option of polygyny always being there, right? For a man, he has the option. He doesn't have to, but he has the option of taking you in. And if there's a man who's willing to take you in, goodness, lady, sister, wake up. We need to fight. We need to fight against society because society is giving us such a big pressure, telling us that we have to put up with 3 strange men and making it so good that the average woman at the street, they all have these guys in our tub. We all have them. We just don't want to say about it. We don't want to talk about it. And not only the fear, it is also our inherent inability to be faithful is why we also maintain the tub. Okay? So yes, society has made it so that I feel necessary that I have the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker. I'm afraid of replacing them because I don't have a husband, and I don't think one husband would actually fill all their roles, which he can. But society has told me not. And then I have a built-in sin that I have inherited, like leprosy, from my mother, from society, called unfaithfulness. And that's where we're going to go into Hosea, my sisters, because, you know, we have this tendency to be harlots and prostitutes. Yeah. We cannot stick to one. One is not good enough, especially if you've had 10. You know, too many has made it difficult to be faithful just to one. That is the truth. If you've had too many flavors of ice cream, like I like vanilla and I like chocolate. Boy, rum and raisin is great too. And you're telling me, Sister Deborah, I gotta stick to one flavor? Only one shepherd? But I've had such great experiences. Yeah, I mean they're so delicious. Y'all has made so many of them. And it's because you've been playing in the candy shop too long. You're addicted to sugar, my sisters. And you're addicted to the wrong ones, and you cannot stick to one faithfully. And oh my goodness, that just deep down, unquenchable thirst that no man can ever feel is what Yeshua was talking to the woman of the well. The only thing that can fill that deep, deep thirst in you is the Most High, is Yeshua, the fountain of living water. You need to be saved, you need to be washed and cleansed, and you need the Word of God in you so that you are satisfied by this, by righteousness, but not by the deeds. Because we've confused our sexual desires We have confused our sexual desires for our emotional and our spiritual desires, and we are not faithful to either one of them. We're not faithful to the Most High. We're not faithful to the men in our lives. We can tolerate the men probably one 1 year, and all of a sudden you find excuses to burn that house down. All of a sudden you need to find the baker back in there, especially the candlestick maker, because all of a sudden you say you're bored. I mean, how can I have one husband for 1 year? Did you know that? Let's just talk before I read Hosea. But you know, women, we have this tendency to stop having sex in marriage because sexless marriage is the main thing. I mean, big Google that up. A lot of men are complaining that their wives have lost interest in them. And it's not that the wives don't want sex, because they want sex. We like sex, but we just get bored with that guy. We want to have variety. And that is the issue that's going on right now. I think that if you think about it, this deep down desire to have variety is because we've had too many experiences in the candy shop, my sisters, and we need to calm down and get detox from it all. Because the inability to be satisfied with one man is not natural. Now it does help now when you have polygyny, because all of a sudden you realize your man has other women looking at him, which will actually stimulate your sexual desire. When women like one man, like more women like the same man, all of a sudden you're interested too. We have that in our hypergamous nature. So that's why we are very much attracted to superstars and the one guy that billions of people all look at and think is handsome. We don't mind sleeping with the rapper that's famous and the famous guy over there, because other women verify that he's handsome or hot. And the more women that want him, the more we want it. And that's how I think it helps in our sexual life in polygyny as well, keeping it not as boring as you think. But we'll talk about that later. That's a different off story. Let's go to Hosea. Hosea chapter 2. And I'm just going to read it. Hosea chapter 2, okay? Say to your brothers, Ami, and your sisters, Rahab, contend with your mother, contend, for she is not my wife. This is this is the Most High speaking to Israel, saying this through the prophet Hosea. She is not my wife, and I am not her husband. And let her put away her harlotry from her face, and her adultery from between her breasts. Or I will strip her naked and expose her as on the days when she was born. Oh my goodness. I will also make her like a wilderness, and make her like a desert land, and slay her with thirst. Also, I will have no compassion on her children, because they are children of harlotry. We are girls. We are children of harlotry. This has all been prophesied. For their mother has played the harlot. She has conceived them, has acted shamefully. For she said, I will go after my lovers, who gave me the bread and the water, my wool and my flax and my oil and my drink. I'll go back to them. Therefore, behold, I will hedge up her ways with thorns, and I will build a wall against her, so that she cannot find her path. She will pursue her lovers, but she will not overtake them, and she will seek them, but will not find them. Then she will say, I will go back to my first husband, for it was better for me than for now. We're going to go right back to this. My battery is running low. So I gotta hit you all up. But sisters, there's more to talk about how to clean this up. But it all came rubby-dubby-dubby from our mommy. She practiced harlotry, too, unfaithful to the Most High, also sleeping around with all the lovers who fed her, gave her all the flax and the bling bling and the hair and the wigs. She did the same thing, and she forgot the husband, the true husband. And now we're the daughters doing the same thing. But let's wash our dresses. Hit me up in the next episode. We'll continue this conversation about Hosea chapter 2. Blessings.